So, remember all that hype? 2025 was supposed to be the year of the AI agent. And look, for our personal lives, on our phones, it absolutely delivered. But inside the world of big business, that AI revolution, well, it's been a whole lot quieter. Let's dig into why the huge promise of enterprise AI hasn't quite lived up to the reality just yet. So yeah, what's the big holdup? Why is AI in the workplace kinda stuck in neutral, while personal AI is just taking off? Well, it's not just one simple thing, right? It's really this perfect storm of tricky technical hurdles, some really messy infrastructure, and business models that are just plain outdated. The single biggest hurdle, by far, is reliability. I mean, think about it. If a business is going to hand over a critical money-making process to an AI, it has to work perfectly, every single time. One tiny mistake could be a huge, costly disaster. And right now, that level of trust, it's just not there. So, how do we fix this? Well, the solution that experts are all rallying around is something called context engineering. It's a term from Andrej Karpathy. And the key insight here is that it's not about building a smarter AI. It's about building a smarter environment for the AI to play in. It's all about giving the agent the exact right information and tools it needs to get the job done, and nothing else. And this whole context engineering idea really just boils down to these three pillars. First, you've got instructions. That's just telling the agent what to do. Simple enough. Then you have context, giving it the right data and tools so it knows how to do it. And finally, you have constraints, which basically puts guardrails on the AI, to finding what kinds of answers or actions are even allowed. Now, this is where it gets kind of wild and a little counterintuitive. We tend to think that to make an AI better, you just give it more data, more freedom, right? Let it run wild. But what this research shows is the complete opposite. The single biggest thing that makes an AI agent reliable is actually constraining it, forcing it down a narrow, predictable path. Okay, so let's say you've got a super reliable agent. That's awesome, but it's totally useless if it can't actually talk to all the software your company already uses. And that brings us to the second major trend we're seeing, the rise of a new standard called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, and the complicated maze it's accidentally created. And the adoption of MCP has been, well, absolutely explosive. I mean, in just about a year, it went from being this little local tool on your machine to being baked right into the biggest software platforms in the world. It quickly became the universal language for AIs to talk to everything else. But you know how it goes. With great success comes a whole new set of problems. Because everyone was in such a rush to connect their apps using MCP, enterprises are now dealing with what the source material calls MCP server sprawl. It's just this chaotic explosion of connection points popping up everywhere with no real plan. And let me tell you, this sprawl is an absolute nightmare for IT departments. Just try to picture it. You've got custom-built servers that are basically outdated the second you turn them on. You've got these tangled layers of servers just wrapping other servers. And from a security perspective, trying to manage who has access to what is a total mess. It's a black box. You can't govern it. You can't even see what's going on. All right, this leads us right into our third big trend. And this one moves us away from the pure tech stuff and into business strategy. All this AI agent activity is putting some serious pressure on that traditional software as a service, or SaaS, business model that's been king for the last decade. What's happening is this phenomenon being called lift and shift. Basically, tasks that used to need a person, clicking around inside a program's user interface, those tasks are getting lifted out of that program and shifted over to external AI agent workflows that just talk directly to the software's API in the background. So let's break that down. The old world was super simple, right? A human logs into a program, uses the interface, and the company pays a license fee for that user. But in this new AI agent world, the AI just bypasses that pretty user interface entirely. It talks straight to the API. And suddenly, that whole pay-per-user model, well, it starts to crumble. And this problem gets exponentially worse when you think about how all these different apps need to work together. If your company uses, say, 10 different apps, you don't just need 10 connections. No, every single one of those apps needs to be able to talk to the other 9. It creates this insane tangled web. That's what we call the N-by-N problem, and it's an integration mess that's fragile and just impossible to scale. So, okay, let's step back for a second. When you put all this together, the struggle for reliability, the chaos of connecting everything, and the huge disruption of business models, it becomes really, really clear that the way we're doing things just isn't sustainable. We need a whole new architecture to manage this AI-driven world. So what does that look like?
Well, the proposed solution to bring some order to all this chaos is a new architectural idea, the AI control plane. The best way to think about it is like a central nervous system for all the AI automation happening inside an organization.
The big idea here is to have one primary central platform that acts as the backbone for all of your AI native workflows. So instead of every department building its own little disconnected island of automation, everything is built on one unified foundation. It brings it all together.
Now, for an AI control plane to actually work, it's got to do a few key things really well. It has to be easy enough for regular business users to use, not just coders. It has to deliver that rock-solid reliability we've been talking about. It needs strong governance baked in from the start. And it has to let teams get from a new idea to a working deployment, like super fast. Ultimately, the whole point is to empower the entire organization, not just lock this power away in the IT department.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one I want to leave you with. As you think about bringing AI automation into your world, what are you building? Are you creating a bunch of disconnected, brittle islands that are bound to break? Or are you architecting a single, unified, reliable control plane that's built for the future? Because honestly, the answer to that is probably going to determine your success.